Hello, hello, hello. But don't know, man. Hello and welcome to season 3, episode 6 of the Discordancy podcast. So for this edition, or for this episode of the podcast, I will be talking about another English language broadsheet. So back in Saturday, well, I don't think it was. Yeah, I think it was a Saturday. It was the 2nd of August, and I was going to pick up my brother from me going to the gym. Like, when I went to the gym, worked out for a bit, and then went to the city plaza, like Times Square in New York. Like, here we have a plaza. Then on the way to pick up my brother, I noticed a stall. A lot of broadsheets were sold there, both in English and Filipino. Noticeably, there were a lot more English language broadsheets than Filipino language broadsheets. So I bought 2 English language broadsheets for 25 pesos each, which amounts to 50 pesos or about $1, like a single US dollar. And here they are. Look at these. One broadsheet is noticeably thicker than the other. So I don't know if I bought a lot more than I paid for. So I hope the Daily Tribune is just one huge broadsheet. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to tackle the Daily Tribune for this episode or for any other subsequent parts. And then after that, I will be tackling the Manila Bulletin. Now, before I start, to be quite frank with you, I do not necessarily agree with the political leanings of these 2 broadsheets. I simply just bought them because I thought they were interesting to look at. Let me check their political leanings. Hold on. Where they are. Okay. So here in my notes, it seems like the Manila Bulletin is a center-right to conservative broadsheet. It is pro-administration, it avoids controversy, it rarely publishes hard-hitting investigations, it is the oldest broadsheet, generally mild in tone, and favors, quote, development journalism. And its audience is older conservative provincial readers and some business circles. You may notice that the audience part there does not necessarily doesn't necessarily reflect me. I am younger. I am a young reader. I am a center left, like a center left of center. I'm a city reader, and I am not part of any business circle whatsoever. And the Daily Tribune here, excuse my throat, or my state of well-being. The Daily Tribune's political leanings is right-wing to far-right, especially under certain administrations. It is nationalist, pro-military, strongly critical of progressive and leftist movements. It often defends sitting presidents, especially those with strongmen or populist tendencies like Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, Rodrigo Duterte, and Bongbong Marcos. It has sharp editorial attacks on critics of the administration, especially activists, opposition figures, and independent media like Rappler or the Philippine Daily Inquirer. It features hardline, often populist or authoritarian-leaning commentators who favor law and order, traditional values, and anti-communist rhetoric. It is sometimes seen as propagandistic, especially during times when it aligns closely with presidential messaging. And its target audience is conservative readers, supporters of tough on crime or nationalist policies, older demographics, and defenders of the status quo with a rightist slant. So, no, I did not buy this because I like their opinions when it comes to politics. These are incredibly polar opposites of what I actually believe in. I don't think being tough on crime actually resolves crime. We have already seen a lot of examples of that in the United States alone. So these two broadsheets are broadsheets that I should not read if I do not want to go insane. However, for the sake of neutrality and for the sake of being unbiased, I will be reading these two broadsheets in full-ish. Right. Let's start with the bigger one. The Daily Tribune. Without fear, without favor. Yes, it is a weekend edition. Look at that. Saturday, the 2nd of August, 2025. There's an ad here at the top. There's also a First Lady's Corner here. Also, a Pro Patriot Journalism Award from the Rotary Club of Manila. There's also a comic here. It's majority sides with Supreme Court ruling. Hold on, let me just. Where is the halfway? Is this it? Is this it? Yes. There we go. Look at that broadsheet. Very, very huge. I know. Oh my goodness. It calls itself a newsstand here at the bottom. Hold on. Century Peak Cement. An ad here. There is a mailing address here if you want. 3450 Concept Building, Florida Street, Makati City, 1235. Its email is dailytribune@tribune.net.ph. For subscription, phone is +63 2883 37085. So in Filipino terms, local number terms, 0928 8337085. The spacing that they put in here is incredibly confusing. I don't know why they had to do that. The email is ads@tribune.net.ph. The newsstand price is 20 pesos, and the issue is volume 25, number 9016, with 36 pages and 5 sections. Yes, the newsstand price, the actual original price of this is 20 pesos. And I paid 25 for this. So, the distributor got 5 pesos for my purchase. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's take a closer look at their... Hold on. Excuse me. Take a look at their social media accounts. Look at that. Lookity look. Alright. Let's have a closer look with some of these. Senate nails impeach shut. Majority sides with Supreme Court ruling. Pag-ibig hits profit milestone. Infrastructure alone won't heal. A doctor's honest look at healthcare reforms. Well, I might want to take a look at that to see if I do actually agree with that. Trump grants 1 week reprieve. Let's see. U.S. President Donald Trump delayed for another week to the 7th of August the imposition of reciprocal tariffs on most countries, including the Philippines, in a minor reprieve that opens the door to further negotiations. I do not think this is some good news that they're trying to portray it as. 1 week reprieve for tariffs is simply not the best solution out there. This is simply just a scare tactic, to be honest. There's a full speech here from Ambassador Ian Fluss, or Fluss. Here it is. A final note: friendship beyond borders. I might scan that after after the taping of this episode. Oh, there's a QR code here as well. Look at, wow, very nice. They also put a photo of Vice President Sara Duterte here in the corner. I don't know what she's doing here. What? What is that? What is she actually doing there? What? Is she like the Senate nails impeach? Is she supposed to be the center of attention for this Senate nails impeach shut? I don't know. What? God. Right. Let's move on to the next page. There are 6 sections apparently. Oh my God. All right. First is Senate nails impeach shut. The Senate decision was reached after a caucus on Tuesday, where the sentiment among at least 19 to 20 senators emerged, which is to respect the Supreme Court ruling. Alright. Then, okay, there's also an opposite side part here of that news that I just said. Meanwhile, Senator Risa Hontiveros confirmed that 4 senators, including herself, have signed a resolution urging the Senate to continue with Duterte's impeachment trial despite the Supreme Court ruling. The resolution, reportedly co-authored by Senators Francis Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino, is still seeking broader support. In another development, the House of Representatives is preparing to file a motion for reconsideration, arguing that the Supreme Court's decision was based on incorrect findings that contradicted official records. The Supreme Court clarified that its ruling does not clear Vice President Duterte of any wrongdoing. A fresh impeachment complaint may be filed after the 6th of February 2026, in line with constitutional rules. As of now, the upper chamber appears poised to respect the judicial authority, with Estrada stressing that constitutional order must prevail. Senator Raffy Tulfo earlier said he was ready to do his duty as a judge of the impeachment court, but he also respected the role of the Supreme Court in checking if government actions, including impeachment, followed the Constitution. There's also a short strip of news here called Double Lucky. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Next, there's also First Lady celebrates Pinoy artistry. Then Pag-ibig hits profit milestone. Philippines, India solidify ties anew. OFW hospital eyes more supports. Supreme Court upholds suspension of engineer amid software ownership row. Tarabasa institutionalization push. DILG conducts briefing for new local officials. My goodness. Let's read a bit. Let's see. Livestock raisers always look forward to their animals giving birth as it means more income for them. Farmer Resting Ramos of Taysan, Batangas, however, had a hard time helping his cow deliver its calf, so he called a veterinarian from the Department of Agriculture for assistance. TV show I Wonder reports. Agricultural Officer Estelito Ortega came and saw the cow was very exhausted from her labor. He noticed that the calf's unusually large head was causing its hardship, according to the show. Ortega and Ramos used rope. Oh my god. Rope. Oh my. To pull the calf out of the cow's birth canal. When the calf was out, they were shocked to see that it had 2 heads. Oh, I know this. I know this news. Zoo and wildlife veterinarian Dr. Romulo Bernardo called the case a bicephaly. Hold on. Bicephaly. Conjoined twins that never fully separated while in the egg stage, according to GMA News. The calf, unfortunately, died shortly after, and Ramos buried it. Meanwhile, 2 were better than 1 for a lottery better in Flinchburg, Massachusetts, USA. What a turn! What a turn. Paul Corcoran bought a Powerball ticket with a $1 million jackpot prize from a local supermarket. The numbers he picked were good for 7 draws. Powerball is basically like the lotto in the US. Like, it's a very huge lottery in the United States. There's more than one. Oh, come on. What the damn? Hold on.
Hey!
Oh. Nandiyan pa ang taho. Wait lang.
Huh?
Taho daw. Anyways, apologies for the interruption. Anyways, Powerball is not the only lottery in the US. There's actually one run by each state, so there's at least 50, but it is like one of the largest. Anyways, where was I? Later, Corcoran thought the 7th draw was over, so he bought another ticket with the same numbers at a gas station in Leominster. ABC News reports. In the 9th of July draw, Corcoran's numbers came up and he won the jackpot. With 2 tickets with the same numbers, he won double. Corcoran collected his winnings at the Massachusetts State Lottery's Dorchester headquarters on the 11th of July. Its officials said, according to ABC News. That is pretty cute. The first one story, though, that website. What did they use to portray here? What is this supposed to mean? Like, hold on, let me... What on earth is this supposed to mean? Like, what? What? I know the one is a cow, like on the right. Well, what's on the left? I seriously don't know. I am utterly confused by that. Anyways, what else can we see? Dole's bloat debt, centering on the provision of cash subsidies to battle poverty as a fiscal policy has backfired. SONA 2025, a bold blueprint? There's, oh, this is commentary. Okay, this is where the right-wing thing comes in. This is no longer news, per se. Um, yeah. Might actually have to show this to you. When I hold on. I don't know if there's a virtual copy of these broadsheets, but here's mine. Look at that. I know that it's pretty dull. I know. There's also this next one, the commentary section. Look at that. There's an illustration here. Pambawas ng kabigatan sa buhay, cash subsidies, and 23 trillion pesos in debt. It's actually still not 100% of GDP. There's also Quiet Shield. A true win won't be shouted from podiums. Rather, it will be heard in the deep sigh of relief from families who can finally and blessedly sleep dry. Oh my goodness. There's also bold, drastic action needed to hit Philippine goals. Double-digit growth to achieve ideal economic development status goals may be difficult but not impossible if, at the very least, the Philippines can substantially attract more than $9 billion in FDIs annually, increase manufacturing by at least 20% of GDP, and cut poverty to single digits. There's also poker player Trump bluffs Japan. Israel started the war and ended up losing. The U.S. sent a B-52 but destroyed nothing. If you want to read that, you can read it. Pause. Okay. Oh boy, there are memorandums here for the Metro Manila area. I think, is it, or this is just? Oh no, this is just an LTFRB memorandum, right? Sabongero Kin Tag Atong Ang, government concedes flagship projects face risks. Trump grants 1 week reprieve. Viral kid bagger rescued. Wait, hold on. Authorities have rescued a child who gained online attention after a video showed her holding a knife while begging at the intersection of Alabang Zapote Road and Diego Serra Avenue. Am I visible? Okay, good. I am visible. The child is now in the custody of the local government of Las Piñas City. She was immediately rescued by the barangay, said Las Piñas City Police Chief. Police Colonel or Private Colonel? I don't know. It's Pete Colonel Sandro J. Tafalia. So now she's under the care of the City Social Welfare and Development. The Department of Social Welfare and Development confirmed it has coordinated with the local government. When this went viral, we immediately coordinated with the local government, and she's now in their care, even as we speak, said DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian. Why the hell? What happened? What? That's fine. Then there's also DMW, wary of job predators. What? What do you mean by job predators? Can I play Roblox here? Let me just interrupt for a bit because I have just been notified that there's a master sprinkler on stock, and I do play Grow a Garden, so let me just get the master sprinkler. Anyways, here's the memorandum while I'm playing Grow a Garden for a bit. Here it is. Okay, very nice. Okay. I've now gotten the master sprinkler. We will now proceed to the last page of this section. Here it is. Israeli passenger nabbed for gun parts possession. Oh my god. There's also Marikina sting ops yield 1 million peso shabu. QCPD logs significant achievements. Alright. There's also QC drug bust net 3 druggies. DILG MMDA mall street parking ban. DMW cracks whips against illegal recruiters. And Group I's cage-free tracker in October. Group I's cage-free tracker in October. Damn. There it is. That's for the DILG thing, the Metro section apparently. Metro booming. Okay, right. That's the first section gone after about 26 minutes. Okay, next section, money. I like money. What advice can this thing get with money? Also, by the way, I will only be tackling the first 3 sections of the Daily Tribune broadsheet because this is actually incredibly huge and incredibly time consuming to tackle in a single episode. It will take me hours. Like, this is the longest episode we've had is, I think, nearly 2 hours. That's it, or just over an hour. That between those. So, you know, like, we shouldn't spend a lot of time because I'm going to milk the hell out of these 2 broadsheets and make a lot of episodes out of these. All right. Trade deal sanctions to push oil prices higher. Gasoline, diesel, and kerosene prices may rise next week due to renewed concerns over supply disruptions following U.S. President Trump's sanctions on Russia and Iranian oil and improved demand prospects after the U.S.-EU trade deal. There's also peso depreciation against the dollar, flood-proof Makati on its section called the Scatterbutt. EDC powers up 7 billion peso Tanawon geothermal plant, empowering MSMES through incorporation. And there's also, hey, can taxes save lives? Yes, if done right. Sin taxes cut harmful use on tobacco, alcohol, and sugary drinks. In the Philippines, 80% of revenues go to universal health care. Oh, well. Alright. Yeah, just look at that. Trade deal, sanctions that push oil prices higher. Then there's this gutterbutt. I really don't know what that means. There's also